Hey everyone, so in today's video we are going to be talking about a new foundation from Flesh Beauty. You guys know that I am a really big fan of Flesh Beauty, and they recently came out with their Pure Flesh Liquid Foundation. So I have tried the Thick Stick foundation from them and I really like it. So I was excited to try this one out in particular because I tend to like liquid foundations more than stick foundations, just, you know, personal preference. I tend to prefer the way liquids look on my skin. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my first impressions. I wore this all day today. I will be giving you a demo, swatches, so hopefully this video ends up being super helpful, and if it does, definitely make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and I hope you'll subscribe and definitely check out some of my other videos. I am actually reviewing the Milk Makeup Flex foundation as well as the new one coming out from Nudestix, so a lot of foundation reviews. I love foundation though, so the more the merrier. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let's just jump right in. So this retails for $32 and you get a full fluid ounce in here. And one good thing about the Flesh Beauty line, the shades are very inclusive. So there are 40 shades in here that range across undertones. So I have the shade 05 Creme Fraiche. It's the one I'm wearing on my face today, and this is supposedly a more neutral shade. I find this to be a little bit more peachy than I typically like. I do have a more neutral face, and my neck is actually a little bit more yellow, so sometimes shade matching can be a little bit difficult for me. In general, I think the shade is definitely passable. So the packaging is really pretty. We have a glass bottle here. In general, it's very sleek, it's very minimal. I don't mind the packaging at all. I actually really like a lot of Flesh Beauty's packaging. I did a video actually on beautifully packaged products that are actually as pretty as the package, like the formulas themselves. I actually included one of the Flesh Beauty blushes, so overall I think their packaging pretty much across the board is very pretty. So they say that this is a medium coverage foundation that has a natural skin-like finish, and they claim that it is also good for all skin types. So with all of that in mind, let's talk about my experience with the formula. Upon first application, I feel like this is not what I would consider medium coverage. I don't actually have a lot of acne scars or hyperpigmentation or a ton of redness to cover up in my face, but I did find that a lot of my freckles kind of shine through. Some very minimal redness probably shine through. So I think that this, for me at least, is more like a light coverage foundation. That being said, I feel like the way they describe the finish is definitely true. This is definitely a natural skin-like finish. And that is one thing that I was really excited about when I was deciding to purchase the product. I love a skin-like foundation, and I have dry skin personally, and I need my foundations to look like skin. When it feels like a mask, or if it looks like a lot of makeup and very mask-like, I tend to not like the product. So again, just throwing out my preferences here, I think that the actual formula is very skin-like. The texture of the product is a little bit thicker than I was expecting. Again, it is a liquid, but it has some heft to it, I would say. But once you blend it in, it does feel a little bit more watery, I guess is the best way I can think to describe it. It definitely is a little bit more of like the texture of a skin tint. It has, again, it still has a little bit more heft than a true like very liquidy skin tint. But when it breaks down and starts to melt on the skin, it reminds me a lot of a skin tint. So I have to be honest, I do have some issues with the way that this applies to the skin. So let's get into the demo so you guys can kind of see for yourself my experience with it. It is a little bit weird to me. When using my fingers, I feel like typically a product like this works best with fingers. I have some trouble blending it into the skin. I do feel like this product, for some reason, and I'm not sure why, it doesn't want to blend into my skin. I find that it likes to sit on top of it a little bit. It likes to cling to any hairs that I have. And in general, when I'm blending it into the skin, it'll be blended out and then I'll go to another area. And if I even touch that other area, I feel like I'm moving around the product. So I do feel like I've had some issues with it truly blending into the skin. Now, when I've gone back in with a sponge, sometimes it actually makes the situation worse. And I'll insert a clip so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I feel like the sponge kind of picks up product again. It was all blended in and then I'm picking up product as I'm dabbing the sponge into my skin. Now, I will say that this morning I used a brush. I actually went back to my fingers because I felt like it was just a little bit streaky. After trying all three of these application methods, I haven't found one that I am truly in love with, just to be honest. I'm not completely comfortable saying that it is the foundation itself, but I will say that this is not a very easy foundation to work into the skin, at least on my skin type. I do have dry skin. As for the way it looks when it's finally on the skin, again, I do have some issues with it looking a little bit weird on some hair, especially around my jawline. I do have some peach fuzz there. I really love that very lightweight, skin tint-esque vibe that it gives my skin, but I do think that this has a little bit more of a refined finish than some other skin tints. Some skin tints I do feel like have a little bit more of like a glossy sort of thing going on. The way that the finish is, that very skin-like finish, it's nice because it's not too dewy. Just wish the product in general was a little bit easier to work with. Now, the good news is, the longer that I wear it, the more I like the finish and the way it ends up looking on my skin. So it's not that it looks dry, but I do feel like it's kind of sitting on top of my skin. But as I wear it, I do feel like it kind of blends into my skin a little bit better, and it ends up looking even more skin-like, even more natural on my skin. How many times am I gonna say skin in this video? Yeah, I do like the way it looks even more as I keep wearing it. So that is one thing to keep in mind. I want to say that I feel like this would work really well for those of you with combo and oily skin. I will insert an up-close shot of the way my skin looked today after I had been wearing this for 8 hours. I think it looks nice. There are definitely some spots where I feel like, again, this could have just been the application, but I feel like there are some spots where it has worn off unevenly, and that could be uneven application. So I don't have a definitive answer to that question, whether or not this wears off unevenly, or if it's just that the application on my part was uneven. Again, because this is a pretty hard product to work at least into my skin. Overall, I'm going to keep playing with this. Right now, I feel like the jury is kind of out for me. In the directions, it says you can use a sponge, your fingertips, or a brush. I've tried all three, and none of them really blend the product into my face in the way that I want it to. But I love the shade range. I still absolutely love Flesh. I just think that I still have to work with this one a little bit. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video, and definitely make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did. And of course, I hope you'll subscribe. I hope you're having a good one, and I will see you